LCS is a bit better than LCS in my opinion, especially in terms of like knowledge.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Digon Esports. Joining me is head coach of 100 Thieves, it's Nukeduck. Congratulations on winning your first game here. You guys just knocked down Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty strong team coming into it.
Mm-hmm.
This being your first game in charge, not first game on stage, not first game with the team, but first game in charge. How was that for you? Did anything change? Did preparation change?
It's a bit more relaxing. Because I just try to run it a bit more in a way that I would like enjoy it when I was a player.
Sure.
That's like I didn't plan to like have to like make the decision or like be the head coach position.
Yeah.
As I haven't had like reflecting on like what kind of like style I want to use or something like that. I haven't really thought about it. So for now I just do it a bit more chill style, and I just know from when I was a player that I really enjoyed playing the game. And I enjoyed talking about the game when there was something to discuss, but I didn't enjoy, having to fill like a 30-minute block after every game with something, even if I didn't think there was something like that useful,
Got it.
So I just tried to like do like not too much, but try to like really focus on the points where I think we can improve and are like useful, and try to just like filter out a little bit.
In terms of a coaching change and philosophy change, I wonder how that affects the draft. Like, a lot of the tweets today were like, looks like Closer remembered he could play Lee Sin, and maybe there was rules against it or anything like that. How is the draft prep different? Without getting into the details of what draft was, but is it the same? Is there another coach that runs that? Is that you? Is it the players that kind of discuss? How does that work?
It's me that run it, but I was also like kind of running it before, but of course I was doing it together with Kaas and the players of course chipping in as well.
Yeah.
But now it's just me and the players, I guess. So it's a kind of a similar process, I would say. I just make something. I think, okay, this is the idea for this draft. We're gonna like want to ban like this and this because like those situations will happen, and then that's something we like, and then I show it to them, and then if they obviously if they hate it, then we're not gonna go for that. But most of the time we're more or less aligned on what draft. I do think though that like I can easier see like which champions they play like better than themselves. So like that's something like I gotta take into account. But yeah, just normal stuff. Just thinking like what we want to play, what we want to use, what they want to use, like what we want to use against their picks, and that kind of stuff.
Your situation's unique. When I was management for Golden Guardians the very first year in 2018, we went through a head coach change, and so I got to see our new head coach that stepped up have to develop their coaching philosophy and the structures that are in place. And I know you just said that you don't have it in place quite yet. You're just kind of doing what you feel is right. But if you take a step back and think about it, what kind of coach do you want to be known as? How, what are those, like, what is a core philosophy that you want to build towards?
Well, it is kind of, as I said, like I don't want to take like up unnecessary time from the players if I don't feel like it's like needed, and so that's a big one, not like overdoing it in terms of like having, I feel like sometimes it could happen that coaches want to have like a lot of meetings and a lot of review to like show that they're like doing something,
Yeah.
And I just want to run like and not sure that's not the case with everyone or anything like
Right.
that, but I just run it a bit more chill. Just when I see something like, okay, this is a mistake that I see is reoccurring and I think it's fixable, then I'll tell it to him, or if it's like an important like team macro decision, but I don't always like nitpick everything and have like long reviews. But of course we'll have long reviews too when there's discussions to be had, but I guess that, and then I also like to think of myself as someone that the players can rely on in terms of tactical knowledge and like also micro knowledge. Sure. Because I did play for a long time in LC, and LC is a bit better than LCS in my opinion, especially in terms of like knowledge and like team play, because LCS more like they have some strong individual players, and then usually most teams have some people lagging behind, and it's like the team as a whole usually isn't that dynamic. So I just think I can help them a lot with like in-game stuff, like even on the individual level, and I can call them out quickly if they are doing something wrong, and I can call them out with confidence. And if they need something, they can ask me. So I think that's just I think I bring that to.
When it comes to, I guess, your team and the players individually, you're one of the few players that out-tenures Bjergsen, right? You don't out-tenure like Doublelift because he's been around forever. He's age old, but it seems like each player is at a different point in their career. How do you go about individually like managing each player? Do you have a different strategy for like tenacity and Busio compared to closer, compared to Bjergsen, compared to Doublelift, or is it all just kind of like, how do you tackle it?
Yes, people. It's different for everyone, of course. I would say some people are like very, very hungry to learn, such as Busio.
Yeah.
And there is Jungle Drews, or Joseph is in our staff.
Yep.
He's the GM, but he's also there on day-to-day, and he is like bot laning phase expert. That's his when he was a coach.
Yep.
So he helps with them with that. And then I have Dan, that's now the assistant coach, and he's basically sitting on tenacity all the time.
Yeah.
And then I'm I watch a bit more mid jungle and do the overall team thing. So yeah, it is different. Some people need someone like really on them all the time, and some people just naturally want to learn. And but for me, it's more about the personalities rather than than their point in their career. But though of course people that have played for 10 years, they are good at adapting already, or they already they won't need as much because they're already like proven. Like if they would need a lot of help to improve, then they wouldn't have managed to play for 10 years professionally. Yeah.
Sounds like someone that could say that with experience.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Going back to the change itself, what was said to you? Are there new objectives and goals? Is it like, hey, we need to make playoffs, or is it, hey, you're in charge? Simplifying it down at least.
No, 100 has been very very accommodating with me. Basically, I was told at some point that Kaas is fired, and that I will do the head coach role for the remainder of spring.
Sure.
And not much more than that. It's for the moment it's temporary. I will see if I like it, or if 100 Thieves likes me as the head coach.
Sure.
But for now it's just gonna do our best in spring, and I have a lot of people. They're trying to help me out with, so I don't have to, for example, always deal with the scheduling and setting up every day. They help me with that. So I'm a bit more game focused, basically. They just try to help me do rest of Spring Split as well as possible. Yeah.
How has your adjustment from being a player to a coach been so far? For example, Nithi said, I just had him here earlier. He said, in my first year of coaching, because now I was on year 4, in my first year of coaching, it was very hard. I would watch it, they'd make a bad play, and I'd be like, guys, if you're just going to be bad, I'll play for you. Do you get, what are some of the road bumps that you've run into so far in these first 6 months?
Yeah, I also have the same problem. So our team struggles a bit with dynamic gameplay, macro, playing quickly.
Yep.
And I'm actually very good at it.
Yep.
So for me, sometimes I feel wow, when someone plays in a way that I think I would play better, and if that happens a lot, then I think why am I even coaching again? What's all that? So I also feel that sometimes, and also I'm kind of just feeling about how it is to coach. It's I don't know. I'm kind of just feeling it out a bit, I would say.
Yeah.
It's not I have committed to coach for the rest of my life, or playing or whatever. At the moment, I'm just doing year by year. This year, I'm gonna do coaching and try my best, and then I'll see take stock at the end of it. How did I like it? Did I do a good job? Is this something that Yeah. So we'll just see, But there are some mixed feelings. Yeah.
How far off do you feel 100 Thieves is from playoffs right now?
Wow, I haven't really looked that much at the standings, but I think we do. I think we are pretty the players are good and we are improving. So I do think in terms of I think we'll make it straight up. I think we're probably gonna make it.
To close it out, just because I've been asking a lot, just all pros, coaches, and whatnot. Have you tried burger joints here yet? What is your favorite burger spot in NA?
Right. So this one is basically this is a bit funny because you know, I live somewhere. It's close, and on the off day I ordered from like Jack in the Box on DoorDash, and I got like a cheesecake and like some nuggets and stuff. I was like, that's pretty good. And then I told it to my team. I was like, that was pretty good, guys. And they were like, you know, like they just wanted to fire me. But then they did take me to In-N-Out, and that was better. So I'll give them that. But you know, like I'm really not picky with food, you know. So but they had similar reaction to you when I said that. Yeah.
I can't believe you just said Jack in the Box. Somewhere, my brother was my roommate. We lived pretty close to a Jack in the Box, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I just went to Jack in the Box." So why would you do that? We're in LA, man. You can go anywhere else.
Yeah, it's close to me too. That's why. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's why. Yeah.
All right, Nukeduck, thank you so much for this chat. I know it was like all over the place, but I mean, it's been really cool to just be able to chat to someone who has years of experience in the league. One of my first players that I ever watched, like coming up, and so I wish nothing but the best for you here for 100 Thieves in your coaching stint.
Yeah, thank you, and it was nice talking to you.
All right, so for more content, make sure to keep it locked here on D-Guy on Esports. All right.
All right, cool.
Thank you. That wasn't too bad, right?
No, that was fun.
Great. Yeah, I appreciate all the candid answers except the Jack in the Box, man. We gotta fix that.
Yeah.